It's time to stop playing small. Just stop it, please. No more going along to get along. No more flying under the radar, making sure everybody else feels okay because everybody else is more important than you. Their feelings matter more than yours do. Like, stop. Just stop playing so small. It doesn't serve anyone for you to be the smallest version of yourself. But we need to talk about it. Sensei Victoria Whitfield from strategicmeditation.com. Sensei means teacher in Japanese. I'm a Reiki master teacher, Reiki sensei, and a meditation teacher. And this is our third episode covering chapter 7 of Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. This book study I'm doing with my clients week after week because this is all about getting in your own way. It's about the angel and the devil on our shoulder. The angel is the part of us that believes that we can do it, and we have permission to go do it, whatever it is, right? The optimist, the positive side. The devil is the negative, the naysayer, the shadow side that prevents us and gets us in the way of ourselves. So if that speaks to you, stay tuned. What I do as a Reiki master teacher, meditation teacher, and performance coach is I help impact-driven, like people who want to make a positive impact, professionals, leaders, business owners especially, to increase their energy so that they can increase their income and impact. Because I believe that when you feel better, when you increase your energy, you do better, right? You make more of an impact. When you feel better, you do better. And when more good people feel really good, they're able to get more good things done in the world. So you should be paid well for making positive impact, and that's what this is all about. That's why I do these weekly messages, to keep you inspired to getting out there and doing the good work that you are called to, whatever it may be. So if that speaks to you, make sure you like and subscribe here on YouTube. Hop on the email list so that you get my love notes every week, as well as specials on anything that we are running at the time. And the topic for today in particular is stop playing small. My spirit guides are saying that just for today, kyodake wa, just for today, as we say in Reiki in Japanese, stop playing small, hiding yourself in the presence of others, making yourself as small as possible so that other people can feel big, making your feelings as small as possible so that other people's big emotions are the most important, making your business and your message as small as possible so as not to offend other people about the fact that you have something to offer and you're doing things in the world, making your desires as small as possible so as not to upset or bother anybody and make them feel like you're getting in the way simply because you exist. Stop it. Type it in the comments. Stop it. Stop making yourself as small as possible. My spirit guides are saying that this is a defense and coping mechanism for growing up in an environment that taught you that that is how you get by, that is how you survive. You survive the storm by being as small as possible. Maybe you grew up in a house with corporal punishment, or maybe you grew up around people who yell when they're angry, or maybe you grew up around very like hair trigger emotional or imbalanced individuals where it became necessary for you to hide in plain sight to make yourself as small as possible so as not to upset and then incur punishment, pain, criticism, the blinding and burning spotlight position. Visibility in your past has taught you that being seen is being in danger. And so being as small as possible is what keeps you safe. Or perhaps visibility in the past makes, instead of you being in danger, it makes you dangerous. So as to make sure that, you're a lady, right? Or you're a good guy. You're one of the good guys. You literally shrink yourself. I had a client of mine who would come to meditation on a regular basis. He was 6'5". 6'5". I'm 3.5. Don't forget it. That extra 0.5 matters to me because I am fun size. He's 6'5", this great big dude. And whenever he would come around, would try to hunch himself whenever he was speaking to others. His wife was around the same height as me, but he would always try to make his big grand self as small as possible and try not to say anything because he was so worried about taking up space. Be kind to yourself if that resonates, that maybe not physically, like in his instance, but your big emotions. As a woman, I had another client of mine who, she's so passionate and has such great, big, powerful, potent feelings and ideas, and so much shame about it that she's in constant turmoil about having her own point of view and having a female voluptuous body, and it's just so much internal turmoil trying to hold herself back so that other people would think she wasn't too much. Be kind to yourself. Your energy, your vulnerability, your honesty, your energy is your purity, your clear light is what we need. We needed him to stand tall and take up all the space. Why? Because he can reach the shelf. Not just that, so many other things. He had such a big heart, not just a big body, but a big heart. So much love to give. And with her, we needed all of that emotion, especially for those of us who are shut down and feeling unseen. For her to unleash all of that love is to unleash clarity, right? Wow, so much transformation. If she would just be big, if he would just be big, we could all exhale. If you would just be big, we could all exhale. And I know for myself, this actually brings up a memory sitting at a dinner table with a dear friend of mine who's like a professional speaker. Shout out to you, Andrew, love you. And he brought all of these incredible people into the room, like people who are the best in the world at what they do or uniquely gifted in different areas of like photography or finance or law and all these things. And he brought me to that table too. And I was so embarrassed, not of him, but of myself. I'm like, I don't even know if I should be sitting at the same table as these people. And we went around to talk about things that we're working on or we want help with from the group. And I said, I want more speaking engagements, but I'm afraid I'm afraid of going out and really putting myself out there, because if I really unleash my energy, people might be afraid of me. And when I did that, I said it like that. Like I spoke with more force. Everyone had a unanimous reaction of they're like, they lit up. They loved it. And they're like, do you understand that when you're energetic, that's enthralling and exciting when you are being big? When you really go for it? Like, that's awesome. It's not weird. It's not attacking or unladylike or anything like that. It's no. It's like, I remember the photographer guy is like, no, I want more. It's like, I want more of that. You can see I'm still a little bit embarrassed of that. But at the same time, to be celebrated for being big, there are people out there who want the big version of you and love it. You'd be surprised. There's more people who want the full-on version of you than those who don't. There's more of them who want the biggest version. They came for Beyonce. They didn't came for Beyonce, right? They came for Beyonce, Sasha Fierce Beyonce. They didn't come for Beyonce from the block in the bathroom hiding Beyonce. No, it's speak up. I can't hear you. We want all of you. Now, be kind to yourself that your nature versus nurture, your nurture told you that the world wants the smallest version of you. And be kind to yourself if your upbringing taught you that, well, we're all small. We all stay in the box because we're black. We all stay in the box because we're white people. You can't come outside that box because you're white. How dare you? Or whatever BS label and box that they're putting a white, black, Asian, Latino, Native, Pacific Islander, whatever we're doing. Blended. Shout out to all my other mixed zebras out there. Because you're a woman, because you're a man, because you're gay, because you're not gay. How dare you? Be kind to yourself if the environment around you is applying labels that put you into the smallest version of you, reducing you to your genitals, reducing you to your political beliefs, reducing you to how much money you make or charge, reducing you to what the name or designer is on the things that you're wearing, reducing you to your zip code or your area code. Be careful of being put in a box. That makes you small, and that limits your ability to manifest and be the most authentic version of yourself that the world really wants from you. We want the outside of the box version of you. And my spirit guides are telling me to read, therefore, from Outwitting the Devil, the passage of the day, supporting stop playing small. Let's get to it. Napoleon Hill says to the devil on his shoulder as he's like figuring out the devil's like gig of like, here's how you make me get in my own way. He says, in other words, if I know what I want from life, demand it, and back my demand by a willingness to pay life's price for what I want, and refuse to accept any substitutes, the law of hypnotic rhythm takes over my desire and helps it by natural and logical means to transmute itself into physical counterpart. It transmutes into its physical counterpart. Is that true? Right? He's basically saying, if I am just the biggest version of myself and I act like it and I develop habits behind that, that the biggest version of my life is going to happen? The devil on his shoulder says, that describes the way the law works. Napoleon Hill responds, science has established irrefutable evidence that people are what they are because of heredity and environment. They bring over with them at birth a combination of all the physical qualities of their numberless ancestors. After they arrive here, they reach the age of self-consciousness, and from there on, they shape their own personalities and more or less fix their own earthly destinations as the result of the environmental influences to which they are subjected, especially the influences which control them during early childhood. These two facts have been so well established that there's no room for any intelligent person to question them. How can hypnotic rhythm, aka habits, change the nature of a physical body, which is a combination of thousands of ancestors who have lived and died before one is born? How can hypnotic rhythm, habits, change the influence of one's environment? People who are born in poverty and ignorance have a strong tendency to remain poverty-stricken and ignorant all through life. What, if anything, can hypnotic rhythm or habits do about this? The devil on his shoulder responds, hypnotic rhythm or habits cannot change the nature of the physical body one inherits at birth, but it can and does modify, change, control, and make permanent one's environmental influences. Napoleon Hill responds, if I understand what you mean, a human being is forced by nature to take on and become a part of the environment he chooses, or the environment that may be forced upon him. The devil on his shoulder says, that is correct. But there are ways and means by which an individual may resist the influences of an environment he does not wish to accept, and also a method of procedure by which one may reverse the application of hypnotic rhythm from negative to positive ends. Bring it back to stop playing small. Here is how, right? And why we play small, right? Essentially, the discussion between Napoleon Hill and the devil on his shoulder is that, like, you become what you're surrounded by. You become your environment. And so the way out is to choose the environment and shape the environment that is around you so that you are forced to respond to that environment. That if you're born into poverty, for example, you can choose to insert abundance into your environment, such as reading books like that. I believe studies show that the ability to read, period, the ability to read, having the ability to read books, right, is by, at a 4th grade level, I think, is the secret to tripling your probability of having a successful life. I remember hearing that recently. And that's why the illiteracy rate in our country right now is really shocking and problematic for our future, that if you don't know how to read, and I don't mean tapping the screen and telling it, like having the screen read to you, but instead, no, being able to pick up a book and actually read. More and more of our children now are illiterate. They're unable to read for themselves beyond like a barely rudimentary level because of the phones. They just learn to tap and then it reads to them. So being able to read and bring abundant thoughts, abundant advice, abundant discussions financially successful tactics and systems and stories and history into your environment, even though you may be born into poverty, being able to bring those elements in can give you the ability to change your life from a life of poverty to a life of abundance, a life of poverty and ignorance to a life of luxury, right? And ease. That's the rags to riches story that we see so many times here I'm in America, where if you work hard, you can work your way up. You can make a change. I think about my dad, who was born in Virginia, like running around barefoot as a kid in the countryside, born a country boy. And because he applied himself, he surrounded himself with men of means, even though he didn't have a biological father who was well-to-do or well-educated at all. He had a biological father who unfortunately would beat his mom and was a drunkard, right? Not a good guy. But growing up and going and living with his grandma, going and living with his uncles, and learning, okay, here's how to put together a 3-piece suit, and how to brush your teeth, how to brush your hair, how to speak in a certain level of society, because his uncles worked down in Washington, D.C., so it was a more elegant place. And it was so important for him to rise up in that way, that the more that he learned and changed his environment, that's what helped him become more comfortable in life, more established, to be able to give birth to, with my mother, of course, for him to take care of a family and to raise kids that go to college, right? To have a son that went to MIT, or a daughter that's a successful business owner, right? Or a son who is an incredible teacher for young people. It's because he shifted his environment that he was able to make a change for himself. Because he read often. Both my parents are avid readers. You never seen people read until you see my parents read, right? Because he's like, I remember him telling me, like, one of my favorite things, I just used to love reading the dictionary and the encyclopedia. He's like, I loved Encyclopedia Britannica. He's like, but the dictionary, I just love reading about words. And that's so potent for lifting you up out of poverty. Lifting you up out of ignorance is changing your environment. He could have played small. I could have played small. My mom could have played small. My brothers could have played. You could have played small. Try saying that 10 times fast, right? If you keep playing small, that means you keep playing within the box that other people have put you in. And that makes them comfortable. Their version of life being comfortable is not you being big. Their version of life being comfortable is them being small, you being small, we're all small, and it's a small world. It's time for a shift. I don't know who this message is for, but I'm hearing that your next level is calling. The door is open. The portal is open, and it's time for you to step through it, but you're not going to step small. You're going to step big through it. The card of the day, by the way, is right side up. It's the dreamer. The dreamer. Look at him step through the portal, by the way. The dreamer. A leap of faith. Follow your dreams. Unexpected opportunities. I'm going to read a little bit. The angels bring you this card because you're entering a new and exciting phase of your life. It's important that you believe in yourself and know that the benevolent universe wants you to succeed. Now is the time for faith and commitment to your dreams. Take any necessary steps to move forward with confidence. Confidence is coming from the biggest part of you. Confidence is coming from your higher self and knowing that it is okay for you to electrify people with your authenticity, with your open-heartedness, with your love. Electrify people with your energy. Don't hide it. Step through. Now's the time for you to stop playing small. And what's going to help you shift from playing small to playing you, not just playing big, but playing you, your game of life at your standard and this age and stage. Being YOU, the master of your universe, is today's strategic meditation. Go to bevisionarymovement.com, B-E, right? Spell out the whole word, bevisionarymovement.com. Start your 7-day trial today, or if you want to stick around so that you can do live meditations with yours truly and keep the good energy flowing. And you're going to type in the search bar. You could do this month's meditation tracker. It's October 2025 at the filming of this video, but you're going to type into the search bar, "It's all good. Guided clearing." IT''S. It's all good. Guided clearing meditation. 16 minutes per day this week. This is going to be your daily meditation. You want to do it after watching today's video, where you embody a sense of ease around no longer playing small. It's all good. It is all good. The good, the bad, the ugly, the strange, the new, the different. It's all good. Every bit of you is all good. Do that 16-minute meditation to embody today's message. Now with that, if you made it to the end of today's video, make sure you hit the like and the share button especially. Comment below what's coming up for you around no longer playing small. How are you not going to play small anymore? I'm curious and would love to hear it. If you want to make sure that you get your one-on-one session, if you need an energy clearing, right? Or you would love a reading, make sure to go to talkwithvictoria.com to get your session, or text me 732-903-8573. Would love to speak to you and set that up. So remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. Mwah. Big hugs and love. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.